Top 10. Number 10.
The Books of Magic. At number 10 on the list, The Books of Magic is a classic work of fantasy fiction. The series takes readers on a journey through the mystical realm, introducing them to a wide range of characters and showcasing the rich history of magic in the DC universe. This graphic novel series was written by Neil Gaiman, and personally my favorite story from him. We follow a young boy named Timothy Hunter, who is destined to become the world's greatest magician. The series is a coming-of-age tale that explores Timothy's journey as he discovers his true potential and the challenges he faces in a magical world filled with mythical creatures. A wonderful tale of a young English boy in glasses discovering his magical powers. Who happens to have an owl as a pet? May sound familiar, inspiration for Harry Potter maybe, maybe not, but the similarities are undeniable.
Number 9.
Watchmen. Watchmen is a graphic novel written by the legendary Alan Moore that ranks number 9 on the list. Despite its ranking, it is still considered one of the greatest graphic novels of all time, having influenced the comic book industry and changing people's expectations of what comic books can be. Some will be angered to see it this low on the list, and that is fair, but I feel like Alan Moore did better work. It can be very much of its age, and I feel has issues with the abrupt ending with some random elements that don't quite make sense. I feel like the movie did a better job tying back the ending to the scope of the story, and more directly involving this aloof god called Dr. Manhattan back to Earth. Ozymandias robs him of godhood. Because suddenly he can't decide his own fate, he is inextricably tied to a plan set out for him in order to maintain peace. The story revolves around a former superhero group called the Watchmen, who are investigating a murder mystery that leads to a high-stakes, end-of-the-world scenario. This is well worth a read.
Number 8.
Alias. This is the story of Jessica Jones, a former superhero struggling to pay the rent. We see a broken person trying to hold themselves together and live a normal life. With her powers gone and her bills piling up, Jessica is forced to take on a job as a private investigator. While working, she gets involved in investigating a particular missing person's case. Things, as you can imagine, take a turn, and she is caught up in a dangerous web of intrigue and conspiracy. This comic has one of the more disturbing ideas I have ever read, so be warned. It can be a hard read at times. If you know Marvel, you know this didn't really fit their normal universe and seemed more like a Vertigo title. In the sense it is very adult and brutal at times. The villain Purple Man goes from a laughable side villain to, damn, this guy makes Red Skull look like a fluffy bunny. Alias is a graphic novel that is not to be missed.
Number 7.
Marvels. It may not be the most in-depth story on the list, but whenever I come across it on the shelf, I have to flick through it. The art is simply beautiful. Alex Ross is a master of his craft, and nearly every page you would be happy to have hung on your wall. Although the story itself can feel disconnected, its purpose is to offer a thread between the heroes and villains of Marvel's history and a snapshot of these gods amongst men from a mere mortal's perspective. The history of the Marvel Universe is presented through the eyes of an ordinary photojournalist named Phil Sheldon. The book takes the reader on a journey from the emergence of the first superheroes in the 1930s to the present day, as Phil witnesses firsthand the impact that these larger-than-life characters have on the world around them. A fantastic graphic novel experience.
Number 6.
Kingdom Come. Kingdom Come is a graphic novel set in the future of the DC Comics universe, where a new generation of superheroes have risen to power, and the old guard were either retired or pushed aside. The story focuses on the return of Superman, who is dismayed by the state of the world and decides to take action to restore order. As Superman rallies his old allies to his cause, he finds himself at odds with the new breed of heroes who are more violent and aggressive than their predecessors. Meanwhile, a mysterious figure named Magog has emerged as their champion, leading to a showdown between the two sides that threatens to tear the world apart. This is another Alex Ross masterclass of art that complements the exploration of deep and complex themes. These are modern-day versions of the Greek gods in which the characters are richly drawn, and the story is both epic and deeply personal, making for a truly unforgettable reading experience. Overall, Kingdom Come is a must-read for fans of DC Comics and superhero comics in general.
Number 5.
V for Vendetta. V for Vendetta is a graphic novel set in a dystopian version of Britain in the 1990s, where a fascist government has taken over and stripped the citizens of their civil liberties. The story follows the masked vigilante V, who seeks to overthrow the government and inspire a revolution in the people. As V carries out his campaign of terror against the government, he crosses paths with Evie Hammond, a young woman who becomes his protege and eventually his ally in the fight against tyranny. The two confront the dark secrets of their pasts and struggle with the moral implications of versus violent methods. What sets this graphic novel apart is its exploration of complex political and philosophical themes, such as the nature of freedom, the role of government, and the morality of violence in the face of oppression. An important contribution to comics lore and indeed to the internet with the infamous group Anonymous, with their usage of the V-mask, as well as some of his philosophy.
Number 4.
Maus. Maus is a graphic novel by Art Spiegelman that tells the story of his father's experiences as a Holocaust survivor. The book is structured as a series of conversations between Art and his father as they discuss his father's life before, during, and after the war, with its unique visual style in which the Jewish people are depicted as mice and the Nazis as cats. This metaphorical approach allows Spiegelman to explore complex themes such as identity, trauma, and the nature of evil in a fresh and innovative way. Spiegelman's depiction of his father's struggles with survivor's guilt and the aftermath of the war is both heartbreaking and inspiring, making Maus a true masterpiece of the graphic novel medium. Maus is a powerful and unforgettable book that is essential reading for anyone interested in this period of history or the potential of graphic novels to tell deeply personal and impactful stories.
Number 3.
Preacher. Preacher is a graphic novel series by Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon that follows the adventures of Jesse Custer, a disillusioned preacher from Texas who becomes imbued with the power of a supernatural being called Genesis, bestowing the word of God on Jesse, allowing him to command almost anyone to do pretty much anything. Jesse sets out on a quest to find God and hold him accountable for his neglect of humanity. He is joined by his ex-girlfriend Tulip and a hard-drinking Irish vampire named Cassidy. Along the way, the trio faces off against a colorful cast of villains, including an organization called the Grail, and Jesse's own family members, who are determined to stop him at any cost. Beneath the surface-level shock value lies a deeply compelling and well-crafted story with memorable characters and themes of redemption, forgiveness, and the human condition. Ridiculous, yet sublime. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll wonder if you're going insane, you'll be disgusted. All the trademarks of a classic. If you're a fan of mature, adult-oriented storytelling that pushes the boundaries of what graphic novels can be, then this series is definitely worth checking out.
Number 2.
Lucifer. Lucifer is the graphic novel series by Mike Carey that serves as a spin-off to Neil Gaiman's The Sandman comic book series. This follows the character Lucifer Morningstar, who has retired from his role as the ruler of Hell and now runs a nightclub in Los Angeles called Lux. As the series progresses, Lucifer becomes embroiled in a series of supernatural conflicts that threaten the balance of power in the universe. He encounters a wide array of characters from various mythologies and religions, including angels, demons, gods, and monsters. Lucifer has rich and imaginative world building, which draws from a range of sources and offers a fresh and unique take on familiar mythological themes. The series also features complex and well-developed characters, particularly Lucifer himself, who is portrayed as a nuanced and conflicted figure with a deep sense of moral ambiguity. Overall, Lucifer is a thought-provoking and visually stunning graphic novel series that offers a fresh and imaginative take on familiar mythological themes.
And at number 1.
Miracle Man. Miracle Man is a graphic novel series by Alan Moore that tells the story of a superhero named Miracle Man, who gains incredible powers through a mysterious scientific experiment. For me, this is Alan Moore's finest work, which I do not say lightly for someone with 3 entries in the top 10 all-time list. The man is a legend, gone off the reservation maybe, but his works are timeless and will be remembered for countless years. Combining the best elements of Watchmen, V for Vendetta, and his various Superman archetype stories, Miracle Man sets a standard that few can match. As Miracle Man explores the full extent of his abilities and begins to grapple with the implications of his newfound power, he becomes embroiled in a complex and far-reaching narrative that explores themes of identity, morality, and the nature of power. Superhero stories are often defined by their villains. The Batman has Joker, Spider-Man has the Green Goblin, and Miracle Man has Johnny Bates. Johnny Bates is one of the scariest villains I have seen in any medium. Imagine a mix of the Joker, Lex Luthor, and combine that with Superman's powers. Some of the visual imagery of his destruction is soul-crushing but way ahead of its time. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know your picks or anything we may have missed. And remember to
like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to hit the notification bell.